Hello everyone and welcome to the Kiki London YouTube channel. My name is Amanda and in today's video we are going to be swatching and looking at the thermal colour changing gel polish collection. Now this isn't a new collection, this has been around with Kiki for quite a while now, but I realised I haven't featured these very much on the channel. I think there is an older video where I use one of the colours on my own nails. I'm not 100% sure if that's on the Kiki channel or my own channel. I know I just have not featured these very much and they really deserve more recognition than what they get. They are so fun. They are basically one colour that changes to a different colour based on the temperature. So they're going to change colour from hot to cold. So I do find that they are great for summer, but then because there's such a variety of shades available, you're definitely going to be able to use these all year round. There are 8 shades in the collection. So I just thought I'd go through first of all and show you all of the colours. The labels on the bottle do give you the indication of what color they change from. So for example, this one, Mermaid Waves, goes from a blue to a greeny color. I was quite surprised how green this one went. It's really fun, but there is definitely a color from everyone, or if you would prefer to purchase the entire collection, then it does work out a little bit cheaper. I'm going to be demoing how they change color just using hot and cold water, and they do need to be top coated as normal, so you will still need your top coat. I chose to use the no wipe top coat for today's video, and we're just going to be swatching them on some Swatch Sticks. So let's start off and jump in to getting these swatched. Now, first up, we have a baby fuchsia, which is a gorgeous, bright fuchsia pink shade. So I'm going to come in and apply one coat of these to my Swatch Sticks. Of course, if you was working on yourself or a client, you would apply these exactly the same way you apply your normal gel polish shades. So you would come in and do all of your prep and your base coat. They do pop a lot better with a base coat underneath, and I would actually recommend using one of the white shades from the rubber base range, so RB01 or RB09, because they're white. They would really help these colors to pop. So as you can see, this color change happens quite quickly, because when you put the color in the lamp, obviously your LED lamp is providing a little bit of warmth, so you'd see there that this color went on quite dark and it did change just a slightly lighter. You do see it a lot better when we pop them in the hot water, but when you do come in and apply that second coat of color, as with any of the Kiki gel polishes, a lot of the pigmentation comes through once you come in and apply that second coat. I'm applying these exactly the same way that I apply any of my Kiki London gel polishes, so 2 thin coats. I like to do the first coat on the very thin side and the second coat ever so slightly thicker, but just going in with 2 thin coats, and then we're going to cure each of those coats for 30 seconds, and then we're going to come in and apply a layer of the no wipe top coat and cure this for 30 seconds as well. So you've applied it exactly the same way you would apply any of your Kiki gel polishes. So starting off as a solid color, this is a gorgeous fuchsia pink shade. So I'm going to take it out of the lamp. I'm going to put it in some warm water to begin with. It is already partly warm, but it might look a little bit uneven where it's not completely warm. So I want to submerge the whole nail so we get that solid warm, we get the full warmth on that solid nail, so we get that beautiful pink. Then when we pop it in to the cold, it goes to a much darker, richer pinky red shade. Now this one is, I was showing you here, this is what it looks like cold. I do go through, I realize it's better to dip half of it in because then you can see both colors. So I dipped the end back into the cold, and you can see it goes from that lighter pink to a more darker pink. Now depending on the shade you use, the colors vary. So for example, here we've got Party Girl, which is a gorgeous shimmery one. I was so happy that this collection did involve some glitters as well, because these shimmery ones, when they color change, look absolutely stunning. So this one, it goes on a beautiful kind of like a bluey lilac. It's got a really pretty effect to it. So we're going to pop this in to cure for 30 seconds. Now this one, as you can see here, it goes a lot lighter when it's got that warmth on, and it's quite strange when you come in and paint on that second coat of color, because you feel as though you're painting on a completely different color. You'll see that through on some of the other colors as well. Like some of the colors, it's a quite subtle color change, and some of them is really dramatic. So again, I think that's fun, and I think that's a great thing about owning the whole collection, because you've got a good variety there. Some people might not want to be as extravagant as having a really dramatic color change, whereas some people will love that as well. When you're wearing them, it might not necessarily be the whole nail that changes color, depending on your body temperature or the weather and how hot it is or how cold it is, and things like that will have an effect on them as well. So on this one, as you can see, we've got it, put it in the warm water, and it's a really pretty, kind of like a lilac-y blue, but then when we pop it in the cold water, it goes to a really rich, vibrant blue. I loved this one. It did kind of give off some kind of like unicorn, mermaidy vibes, and I loved how different it is. How pretty is that? How cool is that as well? I really love anything like this. I'm a big kid at heart. So there we have Pretty Girl swatched. On to the next one. This is Exotic Mama. This is a bit more, it's kind of similar to the Baby Fuchsia, as in it's a pinky shade, but it is a little bit different. It's a little bit, I'd say this one's a little bit brighter. So again, as you can see in the colour, this is kind of like a jelly red actually when this one goes on, and the pigmentation is, they do look a lot better when you've got that base coat underneath them. I wish I'd swatched all my Swatch Sticks with a base coat first of all, because obviously if you're working on yourself, you'd have the natural nail of the natural colour of your nail coming through, which gives you a coloured base to be working on top of. With the clear Swatch Sticks, it does throw them off a little bit, but once you come in and add that second coat of colour, it doesn't matter too much. So as you can see, this one went quite a lot lighter when we popped it in the lamp. So we're coming in and applying that second coat of colour, and the swatch stick is still going to be quite warm, and you might notice this when you're working on yourself or your client's hands as well, that they're going to be quite warm. So when you're painting on the colour, it can look a little bit uneven, where you've got some of the colour that's warm and some of it that's a bit cooler, because the layer that you've already popped on your client's hands is going to be warm from going in the lamp and their body temperature. But depending on the temperature your bottle is, especially in the colder months, that's going to go on a different color, because that gel polish is going to be cooler. So it's kind of quite fun, but you can sometimes, you've got to be careful with your application. If you feel as though your color's looking a little bit uneven, your application might not be uneven, it might just be those thermal properties. So there we popped it in the warm, and you can see it's a beautiful light pink, and then when you pop it in the cold, it goes to a more kind of like, it's somewhere between a dark pink and a red. It's a really beautiful color. I love this one for summer, and again, just look at the difference between those two colors with the thermal color change. This one the bottle represents this one perfectly in my opinion. Next up we have Beautiful Wine, and I was so happy to see that this was another shimmery one. How gorgeous is this shade? I love anything purple. This one kind of gives me a little bit of a galaxy vibe, and again with those little shimmery particles in it as well. So it goes on a kind of like a dusky purple shade, painting it on nice and thin. I love how this looks with the sparkles. I'm really happy, in case I haven't already mentioned it, that this collection includes some sparkles and some solid colors as well, because you can definitely play around and use a couple of the colors together. So we've done that first coat, and in the warmth of the lamp it changed to a really stunning blue. I wasn't expecting this one to go as blue as what it did, because I haven't seen too many sets done with this color. Like I said, I do not feel as though these have got as much notice lately as what they deserve. So hopefully you guys will see this video and run out and buy some of the thermal color changing ones, and I'll see them popping up on Instagram a little bit more. So once we've done that second coat of color, we're going to come in and apply our top coat, applying it the same as always, keeping it nice and thin, nice and even. And if I was working on myself, I would make sure that I'm capping the free edges with my top coat as well to minimize any chipping. And then we're going to pop that one in to cure, and I can't wait to see the color change with this one. So going into that warm water first, just to make sure we get a nice even color change. So there it is with the beautiful blue, and then into the cold we're going to bring back that purple that we see when we were first applying it, but look how vibrant it looks once it's gone into that cold water. Really love this one. I think these two colors work beautifully as well together with that little mix of the purple and the blue. How pretty is that? I think this one has to be one of my favorites from the collection. I feel as though these kind of colors are very me, like both the blue and the purple. But then the Mermaid Waves, which we haven't swatched quite yet, that one shocked me the most with the color change. Do let me know in the comments below which color is your favorite, or do let me know in the comments below if you have any of the thermal color changing polishes and what you think of them. Next up, we have a tropical peach. Now, of course, this one is perfect for summer. I think you could get away with this one in autumn as well, though. Like, this would work beautifully in some pumpkin or autumnal leaves designs, I think, as well. So that's one thing I do love about this collection. I do think there's definitely a colour for every season here. Now, this is a really beautiful peachy shade. It doesn't have a hugely dramatic colour change. So like I said, if you're someone who wouldn't want a dramatic colour change to stand out, this might be one of the shades for you. When you come in and apply that second coat of colour, you can see it's really giving tropical orange vibes. This would also look brilliant with some palm trees stamped or water decaled over the top of it, or even if you're confident with some hand painting, because that is one of the things I loved. When I did play around with one of the two of the colours from this before, I popped some stamping over the top of it and it looked really cool when the now was going for a bit of a colour change and you had both the shades underneath. So as you can see, when it's warm, it goes quite a lot softer of a peachy orangey shade compared to when it's cold. When it's cold, it's a lot more of a vibrant orange. Again, it's still quite a change in colour. Like, all of them do change, but this is more of a softer, not too in your face one. But I think the warm version of this, that peachy shade, is absolutely stunning as well. So this one, I hadn't actually swatched this one or used this one myself before, so this one really shocked me with the color change. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. So in the bottle, it's a really kind of like a dark deep teal blue, which I really love a teal shade, but does edge more on the blue than the green for teal. So we're going to come in and paint on our coats of this. Again, a lot of these do have that jelly like consistency to them, so they don't look highly pigmented in one coat, but don't be too worried, because when you come in and apply that second coat of color, all of that pigmentation comes through. So we're going to pop that first coat into Cure, and here it's kind of gone to like a semi-lighter green. I was kind of like, okay, I can see the mermaid vibes here. So we're going to come in and apply that second coat of colour. I really struggle as well with swatching on these Swatch Sticks because they have such a high arch, these particular ones. I find it a lot harder than the Kiki London swatch file, but the reason I didn't use my swatch file in today's video is because I wanted to demo these on a long nail, but I do always find it a lot easier to swatch on the Kiki London swatch file. So if you haven't got that, do check that out. So again, you've kind of got like a slight color change from the warmth of the lamp, but nothing too drastic. It's gone to kind of like a lighter bluey green. So we're going to come in and top coat, pop this in to Cure for 30 seconds, and then I was kind of like, yeah, this is a really nice muted shade. So we're then going to pop it in to the warmer shade, and it goes to a completely different green. It's kind of like an apple green, which is so fun. It's so different from the blue, which kind of just blew my mind, because then you pop it back into the cold water and it goes to that really dark solid blue teal. I don't know how it works. I don't know the science behind this. I'm only a nail tech, but these just blew my mind. Anything color changing blows my mind, but to see it actually in a gel polish, I find it just incredible. And then just look at the difference here, how solid and dark that blue is to how kind of like pastel and light the green is. Super fun. And again, the Mermaid Waves name suited it beautifully. So next up we have Passion Duer. I have actually seen this one pop up a few times on Instagram. I'd say this is probably one of the more popular colors of the collection. So it goes on a really gorgeous, kind of a little bit like a Cadbury purple, especially when you come in and apply that second coat of color. It's a blue, but it's definitely got that purplish undertone to it, kind of a bit like a violet vibe. So in one coat, again, it does look on a little bit more of the sheer side. Don't stress about that. We're going to come in and do that second coat and really bring the colour to life. You can see, again, very similar with the Mermaid Waves. It lightened a little bit in the lamp, but was a lot more drastic once we'd done two coats and top coated and done our thermal test. I really have in mind to do a marble set using these, because how fun would it look? Just imagine marbling 3 or 4 of these colours and the marble being one way, and then you pop it in some hot water or some cold water and the marbles are all completely different colours. It's definitely something I've got to test out off camera to see how it looks, but then I'm thinking I should definitely include that in a video, because I can just just picture it being really, really fun. So here we go, popping this colour into the warm water, and it goes to a kind of more like a baby pink, a fuchsia, somewhere between a fuchsia pink and a baby pink, and then you pop it in to the cold water and it goes back to that violety blue purple shade. Really, really fun. And again, when you do the half and half test, you can drastically see the difference between these two colours. Really, really loved this one. Lastly, before we get to lastly, let's take a little look again at the swatch. So that was Passion Duet. Jumping the gun a little bit there. Then lastly, the last colour in the collection we have here is Sweet Charm, and this is another glittery one. So at first I thought this was going to be like a nude shade that went to a pink shade, but it's actually like a kind of like a beigey black glitter. Even in before colour changing, this is a really unique shade because it really catches the light differently. I think it's because of the glitters in it. They kind of make it look one way and then it catches the light and it looks completely different. So I really, really love this one. I loved all of the shimmer ones, but this one especially was really fun and unique. So we're going to come in and do that second coat of colour, and again it kind of looks, it's got purpley vibes to it there as well, but it has got that bit of a blacky beige look to it. So we're going to pop that in to cure for 30 seconds. All of the Kiki London gel polishes, by the way, do require a 30-second cure if you are using an LED lamp. I highly recommend using the Kiki London Deluxe LED lamp that I have pictured. This is the best lamp that I have ever used. And then I'm using the no wipe top coat, so that requires a 30-second cure, but do check the top coat you're using because some of the Kiki top coats do require different cure times. So first of all, we're going to pop that in to the warm water, and it goes a completely different shade. It goes to a really beautiful sweet pink shade, but the shimmers look completely different in it. They look a lot more toned down, a lot more subtle than what they do when you pop it in the cold water and you have that kind of blacky purplish shade. And then the sparkles just look completely different. They look a lot more holographic. They don't look as subtle. So again, this was quite a dramatic colour change in a fun way. We'll do our little half and half test and then you can see what I mean a little bit better. So it just looks like two completely different gel polishes all in one bottle. So these are perfect, by the way, if you can't decide what colour you want to wear on your nails today. So that's the last one in the collection. Here they all are when they are warm. I think this was warm, and then I popped them in the cold water and we can see the difference in them all. And I just loved how different they looked when you then pop them in the cold water. They look a lot of the solid colours go a lot more darker, and then the shimmers just seem to have a completely different effect. Again, here they are with their half and half. This was really hard to do them all at the same time and hold them, but I did my best to try and show you guys the half and half as well. And then lastly, I've just added on a few pictures for you guys to check out. So if you did enjoy today's video, please do let me know your thoughts in the comments below and hit that thumbs up button. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do consider subscribing, and I shall see you all again in the next video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely weekend. Lots of love. Take care. Bye bye.